Hello everybody, and welcome to the first of 3 tutorials by Newman Films on how to get into the wedding video business. Doing wedding videos is something that I think most people want to do. If they're not into it, like they like the idea of it, it's just a big challenge to get into it. There's a lot of extra stuff that has to happen. My goal for these 3 tutorials is to make that learning curve much easier. In part 1, which is this one, I'm going to talk about getting started and getting your foot in the door and developing a business model that will work. Part 2 will be the day of the wedding, the production of the wedding, and that will just cover like gear that I suggest using and tips and tricks I picked up in the 3 years I've been doing this. The third and final part will involve post-production and final delivery. So all in all, I hope that after these 3 tutorials, you'll have the tools to go out there and start making money right away, because let's face it, I don't do weddings for fun, but they're great money. Okay, so let's dive right into part 1. Getting your foot in the door. Now, the first thing with any business, especially wedding video, is establishing your name. And you can do this many different ways: a website, a logo, your business name, a promo video, etc., etc. There are many different ways to establish this. Let's go over the establishing of the business part. What we are doing with these 3 tutorials is including a wedding starter kit. And this is a downloadable purchase through our website, newmanfilms.com. And you can find the link in the description of this video. And it has many different elements to building your business, and I will be going over those elements in these tutorials. The first thing I'm going to talk about is starting a website. If you don't want to fork over the money to hire somebody, I would suggest going to just wordpress.com. It's just a place to post contact information, maybe a pricing sheet, and maybe like a demo video or 2 or a promo video or something like that. Eventually, you know, as you go through and you get more weddings and you get more material, you know, you'll want to expand all of that. So once you have your website, I think it's key to establish your brand. One easy way to get ideas is to go to dafont.com. And let's just click on the letter A, so it takes us to all the fonts. And under custom preview, type in your business name. And let's change this to 50 fonts per page and sort by popularity and submit. So just go through these and it'll help you figure out what sort of route you want to take your business. Do you want to go grungy? Do you want to go more artistic, more corporate looking? The font you choose will speak volumes in what people think about your business. If you look at ours, for example, it's a little more grungy. That was just the vibe we were going for. We didn't want it to feel too stuck up or too, you know, high class or anything like that. We wanted the work to speak for itself. So give that some thought. And once you do that, just download the font. These fonts are free, and install it on your computer. If you don't know how to install a font, there's probably a tutorial on YouTube somewhere. So, okay, so you've got your font picked out. So what do you do now? If you have Photoshop, you can start designing a banner or a business card or something along those lines of what you want your site to look like. Then if you don't have Photoshop, doing all this stuff is pretty difficult. Like, there's no other programs that can really do what Photoshop does. So right now you can get Adobe Photoshop CS5 as a demo for 30 days for free. So I would suggest, if you don't have Photoshop, do this, get Photoshop CS5 and get all of your designing and stuff done for your business, you know, within the 30 days of that trial, and you're golden. I've included the link for downloading the Adobe demo in the description of this video as well. So once you have Photoshop installed and your font picked out and installed on your computer, open up Photoshop. There's a lot of PSD files, which are Photoshop files, in this wedding starter kit, and you can edit all of them, pretty much every aspect of them. I've included a hue and saturation layer where you can change the hue without it messing things up too much, so you can you're not stuck with the color of the stuff I designed. So you can change the hue and make it red or green. I've included 3 business card PSD files. Like us, we have like 3,000 business cards, I think, printed. You know, this will also help you develop an identity, you know, a color scheme and things like that for your website. So I'm not going to get into designing your website because I don't know anything about it. I just know that, you know, I've used WordPress because it's easy and user friendly, and I don't want to pay anybody else to do it. So next, you know, the business cards won't get you business right away, but what will, and this is our main form of advertising, is a pricing sheet. And so I've included the one that we use, but I've broken it down into a bunch of different layers. And so what this is, and you'll see these in a lot of the PSD files too, is main pick, and then 830 by 330 is the size you need to resize the image to fit in that window. So in this wedding starter kit as well, we've included some stock wedding pictures just in case you don't have any on hand. I'm assuming most of the people that would buy this wedding starter kit have never done a wedding. And so therefore, to really get any promo material out there, you're going to need stock stuff. You know, I wouldn't feel bad if I were you about using other people's pictures or video, because it happens all the time. If you've ever watched a documentary, you know, 15% of that documentary was most likely other people's video. So I am giving these photos and video away to you to use for your own advertising. And you'll obviously want to replace those with your own work when you get a few weddings under your belt. But for now, you're going to need pictures to start advertising right away. So let's go with this flowers one. So I find the easiest way to do this is to go into image size, and go ahead and do the width first. 830, and since we have constrained proportions checked, it will keep the aspect ratio the same, so the height is still 529. So I don't know that much about Photoshop, so what I would do is crop it until it was approximately 330. So we'll just go like that. Pretty close, and that's close enough. So then use the rectangular selector, select a picture, hit Control Copy, go back to the pricing sheet, hit Control V to paste, and we have our image in there about the same size as that picture. Now, there are a lot of layers in here that you will need to delete when you're done. So you'll just want to delete these pictures out of there so that if you turn off your new picture, there's nothing back there. So it's your picture now. So, you know, again, there's the hue and saturation tab, so you can change the color. Like, let's say your business card ended up being blue. You can change this to more blue. So, you know, you have your production company up here that you'll change to your font. And then down here in packages and pricing, I can't tell you really what you should charge. It depends on where you live. And it depends on what the competition is like. It depends on your own experience in it. You might want to change these numbers. To change the text, you click on the T icon over here, which is for the text, and you can just click on it, make the change. So these packages, you know, we have our own names for them. You can change it to like the basic package. And then down here at the bottom, you know, you have your contact information and stuff like that. So once you're all done editing this pricing sheet, click on the top layer, hold shift, click on the bottom layer, hit Control E to combine all the layers, and go ahead and save that as a JPEG file just to your desktop. And you can save the PSD file if you want. Maybe just save an extra copy so you have my original one in there. Okay, so now you have your pricing sheet. Okay, so what do you do with it? Now, our main source of advertising for our 3 years of doing weddings has been Craigslist. And what's cool about Craigslist is anybody can do it. And you will most likely get some bites just with this pricing sheet alone. You know, you can upload that file to Facebook and then just link to it in Craigslist. And what I find to be a good idea in Craigslist is not always have the same headline every day. And I would suggest posting every day. But, you know, post in a different area of your state every day and have a different headline. I would suggest getting a little more creative with your headlines. What you want is to get people to click on your link, and then when they get there, they'll see the pricing sheet, and I think the pricing sheet looks really good, and I think it'll get some people to contact you. So again, if you don't know how to post on Craigslist, I'm sure there's a tutorial on YouTube somewhere. I'm just going to say that different creative headlines will help, and posting every day is a must, and you'll get weddings. And make sure to post under creative or event services on Craigslist. Back to the PSD file, it'll be pointing people to your website. And if you have just a WordPress site as of right now, you'll want to include the pricing sheet on there, or at least the information you have on the pricing sheet. You want to have some contact information. You maybe want to have a list of the equipment you use, maybe some links to your YouTube videos or something like that. But really what's going to sell it is a wedding promo video. And our wedding promo video has done wonders for our weddings. If people look at your pricing info, they're going to go to your webpage, and if they go to your webpage, the wedding promo could be the thing that gets you the job. So again, assuming that you haven't done that many weddings or any weddings at all, I've included not just wedding stock photography, but wedding video. And there's 14 video clips in here, and you combine that with some motion graphics, and that should be enough to make a decent promo. That being said, as soon as you do your first wedding, you'll want to update that, take out some of my shots and put in some of your own, and eventually have your own promo video. But again, this is to get you going right away. So for the motion graphics part of it, you're going to need Adobe After Effects. And again, the free demo of After Effects CS 5.5 is out now, and it's for 30 days. And I would suggest downloading that and then going to videohive.net and finding yourself some titles that you will want to use in your promo. I mean, there's countless titles on here. You'll find something you like, and you just can pay with PayPal and download the project, open it up in After Effects, and edit it however you want, and then save that file, and you have your motion graphics. Then if you don't have our trailer cards from oneproductionmusic.com, go there and get our trailer cards. You start off your promo with the trailer card, and then go into the motion graphics, cut to a few of the stock video shots that I've included, and put it along to one of the wedding songs we made, and you have a promo. So once you get a promo edited, upload it to YouTube and then link it to your website. Then just post that pricing sheet on Craigslist every day, and link people back to your site where they'll see the promo. So I'm sure there's some easier ways to do this, some more effective ways, but this is just what's worked for us. It's a model that we have made, fit to our own way of doing things, and you'll do that too. Maybe you start with how we do things, but then you find a few things that don't work for you, or you find ways to improve things. The main goal of this is to point you in the easiest, fastest way to get you going, because the promotion of your brand and your website is the least important part. Like the wedding day and the final product are the most important part. So if I can give you any tips on how to get there, then I'm happy to share them. The next tutorial is going to cover what happens if somebody does hire you. So that'll include everything from contracts and how to deal with that aspect of it, what equipment I find is essential, different tips for tackling each element of a wedding, like reception, ceremony, dances, etc., different angles that I find that work, audio tips, everything. You thought this one was long, the next one's going to be even longer. And then the last one is going to be about editing and, what I find is the fastest, most effective way to edit a wedding, and any tips I've picked up, and then final delivery. And one thing about the delivery that we find very important and that we find sets us apart from other videographers is the DVD, the DVD label and sleeve and the professional delivery format. It's a little touch. It's more work on your end. It's not that expensive on your end. You just have to pay for the DVD sleeves and labels, which is like $5. You have to design them. But we find that extra little touch goes a long ways. In the wedding starter kit, we've included some DVD templates where you can, just like these business card ones, you can replace pictures and add pictures and edit the text and everything. And there's a Blu-ray one too, if you do Blu-ray. So I hope you learned something, and I'll see you back here for part 2.